Let's go. At the end of every unit, teacher has the chance to teach a lesson about other things and use their context to enhance no cap. But what do you think our teacher has to do? He jumped the lesson and make it present a digital LEQ. Yeah. Elocution needs historical or evidence, reason that can help in advance a complexity that John would admire, and then we drop a screencast like a single dash fire. Hand students create screencasts for you to like and share. We know you have all the agreement high that you can bear. If it had the most views by 10 p.m. on the 5th day, we earn 500 bonus points and guarantee an A. No cap. Without much more fanfare or ado, we present our digital LEQ. Let's go.
National identity. Big ideas questions. What factors led to the democratization of Southeast Asia? And how did these factors fuel independence movements in Southeast Asia?
This is the thesis. Despite the rise of imperialism in Southeast Asia after the First World War, many nations in the region sought independence. However, Southeast Asian countries struggled as their colonizers easily defeated resistance and took advantage of their trade parts and resources. Therefore, Southeast Asia countries had to expand militarily and politically to gain independence.
Southeast Asia was slowly colonized by Britain, France, and the Dutch during the 19th century. The Dutch took over the Indonesian archipelago in 1799. Indonesia was colonized by the British while France colonized Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and established French Indochina in 1887. Many returned home from the Great War with interest in freeing their home country from colonization and more radicalized political ideals. Civil rights were also a cause for desiring separation from their colonizers, as many under imperial rule felt abused and their culture and traditions were suppressed.
Historical evidence. This is our first primary source. The photograph shows a communist office in Malaysia. Reasoning is the source entails that communism has spread throughout Southeast Asia after World War I through propaganda. Communist leaders promised more political freedom and representation through these regimes. Situation. The Malayan Communist Party was founded in 1930 and fought against the armed forces of the British and Commonwealth and fought to gain independence for Malaysia and establish it as a socialist nation. Point of view. The source is made for the audience to have an idea of the rise of communism in Southeast Asia and how it was used to subjugate colonies and became independent from their rulers.
This is our second primary source. It's a quote by Def Analysis. This quote from the Current History magazine details Southeast Asia, the emergence of Southeast Asia after the Cold War, economically stable, pushing through democratization while recognizing human rights and the effect of rapid economic growth. Reasoning. The quote is used as historical evidence that democratization was brought on by Southeast Asia countries as a way to push for more human rights and having a more democratic government situation. It was during the end of the Cold War that more Southeast Asian countries turned to democracy and abolished communist rules. Point of view. The source was created for the audience to have a brief overview of the Cold War and its upbringing of democracy to Southeast Asia.
Primary source 3. The picture shows Prince Norodom Sihanouk of Cambodia meeting with U.S. President John F. Kennedy in New York City, 1961. Analysis. This is a picture of President Kennedy meeting with Prince Sihanouk about the independence of Cambodia. Reasoning. In order to stay in power and keep Cambodia from being taken over by the Viet Minh, Prince Sihanouk's government would have to be recognized. Prince Sihanouk's government became the sole authority within Cambodia, so the Viet Minh couldn't take over Cambodia. Point of view. This picture shows the audience of how the independence of Cambodia was gained and protected.
Secondary source 1. Analyst. This quote from the Democratization, National Identity, and Foreign Policy in Southeast Asia details how Southeast Asia got colonized by Western countries. The reason, the source entails that Western powers established empires in Southeast Asia by generating anti-colonial nationalist movements, which made them loyal to powers, which made them powers take advantage of their resources.
Secondary source 2. Analysis. This quote from Vietnamese communism apprises how the Vietnamese could stand powers like the US and France. Reasoning. The source entails that through resilience and determination for the ideology and organization, Vietnam could beat Western powers like the United States and France.
These are AP World History themes that we used.
We revisit the big ideas questions. What factors led to the democratization of Southeast Asia? World War I, the Cold War, interactions with Western countries, and the development of communism led to the democratization of Southeast Asia. How did these factors fuel independence movements in Southeast Asia? Many Southeast Asians and civic leaders desire to be free from colonial rule, have basic human rights, and have a democratic government.
Here are our sources. Secondary sources. I think we got that.
Yeah, we